What's up, guys? Welcome to Talking Pigskin Week 7 edition. As always, I'm your host, Kishwar, and let's begin with my beloved New York Jets. Wow, back-to-back weeks, they put up 30-plus points this week, 42 in particular. Amazing performance by Sam Darnold, only had 6 incompletions. Definitely his best performance to date. It's only 6 games into his career, but he's so far he has been everything that us Jets fans want him to be. Just be competent and get us to the promised land somehow, some way. And he is slowly starting to show why the Jets drafted up to pick him up. The Jet defense, yes, they're giving up tons of yardage. Todd Bowles, being a defensive coach that he is, definitely needs to look into them and see what's the issue. But good for them. They're getting turnovers at crucial points of the game, so that's actually been helping out Sam and that offense, and hopefully they continue to do that. As far as the receiving core, Kunti Nunma will be out, but Jermaine Kerr stepped up last week. Robbie Anderson has been pretty good the last couple of weeks. Terrell Pryor has been catching touchdowns, so let's keep that going. The offense has finally come to life. The 3 wins they had, they scored over 30 plus. In 2 games, they scored over 40 plus. So it's a great sign to see. Us Jeff fans aren't used to seeing that much points out of our offense, so definitely a fresh sight. So very happy about that. As for my picks last week, I went 3-2, which is pretty good. And so far, I've had a pretty good season. Next week, I'll have a total tally for you for a halfway point. So stay tuned for that. But let's jump into Week 7 picks. And the first game we have is the New England Patriots traveling to Chicago and take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears blew that game in Miami. They're 0-3 against Brock Osweiler. That is pretty shameful. That man can beat anyone, but when it comes to the Bears, he is one of the better quarterbacks they see. That shouldn't have been the case. Bears were in control of the game for most of the time, but they just had blown coverages left and right, and that cost them the game. They actually had a chance in overtime, but Cody Parkey missed that field goal, and yeah, now they're 3-2. So coming in is the New England Patriots, who, like I predicted, was gonna dismantle the Chiefs. Sure, they only won by a field goal, but that game was high scoring and no defense was being played. New England is back. Not sure why people love to bury them so early in the season, but they're going to go to Chicago and take care of business. It's going to be easy for them, so New England over the Bears. Next game we have is the Minnesota Vikings coming into MetLife Stadium to take on the New York Jets. I believe this week will be very tough for the Gang Green. Sam Darnold will see a different defense where, yes, the Vikings defense hasn't as been good as the previous season, but they're still better than most defenses Darnold has seen. Harrison Smith, Andrew Sendejo, rest of that crew will be ready to go and feast on that young quarterback. But as long as Sam can, just take the short field and just somehow, some way, take advantage of those, that'd be great. Kirk Cousins, I'm sure the Jet defense is waiting to face him after seeing what he did to them in the offseason via the video. I'm sure he meant no hard feelings, but players, grown men, they remember things, and hopefully for them, they take it out on him. But the Vikings offense is too prolific for me. They have Cousins, Dalvin Cook might be back. They also have 2 great wideouts in Thielen and Diggs. I don't think the Jets can keep up with them, and unfortunately, I'm picking the Jets to lose, and Vikings will take that game. Next game we have is let me figure it out. It's the Baltimore Ravens hosting the New Orleans Saints. Saints coming off a bye. Breeze coming off his historic night on Monday night a couple of weeks ago, setting that all-time passing yards. Now going into Baltimore, who just shut out a Titans offense. This will be a fun matchup to see. I think they'll go head-to-head and they'll light it out. I don't think Baltimore defense can hold Drew Brees like they did to Marcus Mariota. Joe Flacco hasn't had a bad year thus far, so I expect him to continue doing that against the 32nd ranked pass defense. So I think it'll be a shootout, but I think Saints will come out on top. Next game we have is a division game, where we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Washington Redskins. It's going to be a very good game. Every time NFC East teams play each other, it turns out to be very entertaining. The Redskins at home have the advantage over Cowboys because Cowboys have looked like a different team at home, but on the road, they haven't gotten it together yet. Sure, they dropped 40 points on Jaguars defense last week, but the Redskins offense will be able to go toe-to-toe with them only because Blake Bortles is not their quarterback. But Alex Smith and that offense will definitely be ready for Dallas defense, and I think in a very close game, I think the Redskins will pull it out at the end. And the last game we have is the Sunday Night Football, where we have the Cincinnati Bengals traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Chiefs, who are coming off from their first loss of the season. I think they will unleash on the Bengals, even though I think this is going to be probably the best game of the week. Andy Dalton, who showed last week, just cannot seem to get over Pittsburgh Steelers when they come to Cincinnati, but he needs to have a bounce-back game. And I think he will, because the Chiefs' defense is not as great. I think this will be a huge shootout, back and forth, but I think Chiefs at home will be able to secure the victory. So there you have it. You have the Patriots, the Vikings, the Saints, the Chiefs, and I'm drawing a blank here. I'm drawing a blank here. But yeah, you got the teams. I will see you guys next week with Week 8 picks, and I'll have an overall tally of how I'm doing thus far. Please like, subscribe, and I will see you next week.